Alright, so I watch all of Deb's videos pretty much, and she broke the news about Omar Awan in a Tesla crash in Florida. I haven't seen any other stations covering it, so I thought I'd bring attention to it again. Let's look at. I've called up a whole bunch of tabs. I looked at the first two or three. So we're going to do this together. A fiery Tesla accident after crashing into trees. It was in Davie, Florida on Sunday, February 24th, I think. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. It says that someone tried to break the window. The doors were unable to be opened. Several times, the battery pack continued to reignite while it was at the tow yard afterwards. Alright, so let's just speed through these. There's a few things here that are probably good to know. He's a physician, didn't know that. Father of 5, didn't know that. I'm guessing you could click this and go to another thing about it. The NTSB has decided not to investigate it. It says that they investigate all aviation crashes, but they're not interested in all automotive accident incidents. Omar Awan was speeding between 75 and 90 miles per hour while heading north on South Flamingo Road about 4:30 p.m. Sunday, witnesses told police. They're not sure if he was using the autopilot. Davie police are investigating to find out more information. He's listed as being a safe driver with a valid license. However, in 2018 in Broward County, he was cited for a red light violation and speeding 65 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. That's 20 miles per hour over the speed limit. That's usually, when I learned to get my driver's license, if you were going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit or 70 miles per hour, you could lose your license for a year. So basically it looks like he just had to pay some fines. Anyway, I don't want to get way too much into this, but this, you can see the link up here. These are some good information. He worked for a place called Envision Physician Services. Chief of anesthesiology there is Kareem Abulinen. I don't want to try to say that too much. Okay, so all right, here we go. His Model S sedan veered off the road for an unknown reason. Then it appears he tried to overcorrect and lost control of the car. He was burned. Oh, I have an alarm. They're not sure if it was due to a technical flaw in the car or if something happened to make him lose control. Yeah, okay. Tesla has already released a statement. We understand that speed's being investigated as a factor in this crash, and we know that high-speed collisions can result in a fire in any type of car, not just electric vehicles. And they go on about the battery pack again. All right, and apparently you should own a thermal imaging camera if you also own a Tesla. All right, there's so many about this, so many articles here. So I'm just going to look through a few. Okay, that one basically says the same things. This is a more local. He was identified by the Davie police. However, he was burned beyond recognition, we saw in another report. Awan's wife knew about this because she'd been tracking his whereabouts by cell phone. And that's kind of interesting that they put that in there. Awan's wife was tracking his whereabouts by cell phone. That's something. She got to the crash scene while they were doing the investigation. It was towed to a Superior Towing. I'm sure that's something. On Southwest 66th Terrace. Yeah, I mean, this is horrible. I'm not giggling about what's happened. The numbers, you know. It's always horrible when children are left without a parent or parents are left without a child. And they talk about this other Tesla Model S crash. You can limit the car speed between 50 and 90. Yeah, well, I should hope so. 90's pretty darn fast, but I guess there is some 90-mile-an-hour speed limits, maybe. There's 80 somewhere in Montana. Boy, I hope me moving around isn't making too many noises. I don't even know where the microphone is. I gotta have some coffee. It's decaf, but I recently started making it in a French press, and I love it. I can't have caffeine. It makes me crazy. All right, so let's see if there's anything new here. Witnesses tried to save Awan, but the intense fire prevented them from getting close to the car. And again, we see this, although he was identified at the scene. Perhaps they identified his car or some belongings in the car. Anyway, so this is the Forbes article about it. The posted speed limit where he was 50 miles per hour. Oh, maybe I can make that go away. Sorry. Yep, same information. Apparently he's the only one that died. Nothing new. So apparently this is going to open up some dialogue about the safety of autopilot, because it's being pushed to have driverless cars. And I remember there was a story about a driverless car running into a robot somewhere. So, you know, if there's only a few driverless cars on the road, and I've already heard about it killing one pedestrian at least and hitting a robot, it doesn't sound very safe. Although I did rent a car recently, and it had something on it called driver assist, and I did enjoy that for parts of the trip. And it also had a thing where if the cruise control was set and you were behind someone, it would pace you. It would slow you down so that you would not get too close to their rear end, and you could adjust how close you wanted to get before it slows you down. And that was a lifesaver. I really did enjoy those parts, but you can turn that off with a switch, or you can grab the wheel. Like when it would, the driver assist worked in a way that when I would accidentally go over the white line, it would lurch me back into the lane. And you could move the wheel yourself at the same time that it was doing that. It didn't completely take over. So, you know, maybe somewhere in between there is what we need. All right, so for those of you who know who Omar Awan is, he worked in Washington, D.C. for Debbie Wasserman, whatever. And I have not looked at any of these. As I said, I do remember hearing about him through the George Webb series a few years ago when I was listening to this stuff. And boy, I don't know. This is a transcript of a George Webb thing called Truth Feed. I don't really have sources that I look at more than others. I know the big names, I usually avoid them, but I don't really know who this is. But this is about the brothers, Abid, Imran, and Jamal Awan. Abid is Omar. He's also known as Omar. Now see, down here it says another man. Huh. So, I don't know. I heard on the video that I watched that Abid was Omar. This makes it sound like it's something different. Maybe I should have read these before I started recording. That's okay. They don't list their names here. Imran Awan, 2 relatives and a friend. Okay. He was indicted. Imran Awan was indicted. All right. So this is more about the George Webb series, and this is one of the most important company names of all of that. I'm pretty sure this is the heart of the whole thing, as far as the movement of the human parts. And I remember after the inauguration of President Trump, the one that lied and pretended he was a U.S. citizen in order to be the president, and his companion flew away, and they went straight to a DynCorp facility. So that's something too there. All right, well, I'm going to do a little more fact checking before I publish this, because now I'm really wondering if this is the same person. And if I find out more, obviously I'll splice it in. Okay, well, I guess I've been looking at a lot more things since I recorded the last bit, because it suddenly occurred to me, hey, maybe it's not the same guy. Maybe somebody's already been down this rabbit hole. And I started looking for connections. Let's see. Just going to take you through the tabs that I've got here. Okay. On this page, notice Virginia State Medical License active through 2014, New Jersey State Medical License active through 2019. Found this Reddit page where people were already discussing it to see if the Tesla crash was the same person. Down at the bottom, they conclude that this was merely a doctor of the same name and complexion. This George Webb video was referenced in those Reddit posts. It does tie these people to New Jersey. Okay, so then this is the obituary page for the person that was killed in the Tesla crash. Here's another New Jersey connection. Here's WebMD. Attended Ross University from 1994 to 1998. I found this. It says that it's Centerville High School from Clifton, Virginia. And there is someone by that name listed here. There we go. I don't know if all these things are related, but this is what I found. Also, this is an article that we looked at in the first part. It's the same article that we read earlier about how the NTSB had decided not to investigate it, and it's printed in a newspaper called the Collegiate. It's something from the Rockies, Rocky Mountain Collegian. So this was published in some kind of a college paper in Rocky Mountain region. Alright, let's continue on. Okay. Ketamine Infusion Center. This person was involved in something called ketamine infusion therapy for psychiatric conditions such as depression, bipolar depression, OCD, PTSD, and anxiety. And when you come on down here and you read the reviews, Ketamine King. And this person just says one of the best doctors. And if you're familiar with ketamine, I think you get the picture on that. So, like I said, I don't know if this person is the same person, but this is certainly very interesting, nonetheless. Even if it's two separate stories, this seems interesting, the Tesla crash, and the fact that this person was involved with ketamine distribution in some way. Perhaps, I mean, there's a lot I don't know about. I know that they use microdoses of LSD to treat depression, so this is something new that I'm unfamiliar with. Anyway, we don't know if this is the same person as the Omar Awan, which is affiliated with Imran Awan, and the laptops in Washington, D.C., and all that. But I don't know how to go any further, but I just wanted to make this video.